Girl. We are back with a new episode this week. And this week I would like to talk about forgiveness. A lot of times we go through things and people do us things, and sometimes it's so hard that we get over it. But forgiveness, a lot of times, you're so mad at what the person did you. It's like, I'll never get over it. But think about some of the stuff that happened in your past that you thought you would never get over it. And you did, right? It probably made you greater afterwards, right? So, forgiveness is not only for you. For the other person, is for yourself as well. Because don't mean because you forgive them that you have to still be in contact with the person, or if something happened to you on the job, don't mean you have to still work there. You can forgive and move on with it. You don't have to wait for an apology from the person. You may not never get it. You know why? Because a lot of times you and the other person, y'all think differently. You're two different human beings. If it's a male and a female, you males and females, we think differently. We were raised differently. So, a lot of stuff that may work for that person may not work for you. A lot of things that they do, you might not care for. Doesn't mean you have to force what you believe on that person. You need to, if you're still going to be dealing with the person, you need to accept that person for what they are right now, not for what they're going to be in the future. Or you hope that they're going to change or grow to be whatever you want them to be. And the same thing, goes for you. Like if that person doesn't care for some of the things about you, some things that you do, or you did them, they can't forgive you, where y'all might have had two different beliefs on the subject. So what one person may thought was something terrible or whatnot, the other person may not have even thought that way. So, y'all can agree to disagree and move on from each other if that's what you need to do. But the main thing for me for forgiveness is basically, letting it go. Let God deal with it, and keep yourself in a peaceful, harmonious manner, because overall your mental health, your emotional health, your physical health, because a lot of times the physical health gets interrupted some kind of way if you're emotionally or you're mentally unstable, because you may start having a headache, your heart may start racing, your stomach may be upset, you may feel nauseated. All of that is something, it could be because something you're mentally going through, or something emotionally is stressing you out. So, a lot of times it's easier just to let stuff go. This too shall pass, and, move on from the subject. I feel like a lot of people hold things in. It's better to get to the root of whatever the issue is and see if you can communicate with the person to get to a resolution, a solution that'll work for the both of y'all, and move on from it. Why keep harping on the same thing over and over and over and hoping the person get it, hope they change, all this here. Let that person be who they want to be. You deal with them accordingly, however you want to deal with them. And if you don't, you don't, But I wouldn't sit up there and keep like going back and forth. I'm so angry because they did this, or they never came and apologized. Apologize if you feel like you did something wrong. Even if you don't feel like you did anything wrong, you have to acknowledge if this is somebody that you care about, right? And they're saying that, they're hurt or they're upset, something that you did them, really rubbed them the wrong way. You're not going to sit there and maybe think about it, even though you may have a different belief. But because you care about this person, you're going to maybe think about what it is you did and how it may have affected them. And if you can have an understanding from their point of view, then you can come back and say, okay, well, I apologize for what I did that made you feel this way. And if you care about that person, you're going to change it up a little bit. You're going to have to compromise or sacrifice. Either way, in life, you will have to do some of those things along the way to keep some of the relationships. A lot of the stuff that we have learned was negative, wasn't helping us at all, but just because it was a product of our environment and we saw it every day repetitiously, it's gonna stick to you. You think that, oh, whatever you may have saw, I'm not gonna be like that, but sometimes you do end up being like that. Just because you see it every day, you're around it every day, and you end up some kind of way still having it rub off on you. It's just, it is what it is. But the bottom line is, I try to stay, nobody's perfect. I never claim to be. I try to give my best and treat people how I want to be treated. But sometimes other things, cause us to kind of get out of our norm. And the quicker you can catch it and reel yourself in, the quicker you can prevent yourself from going all the way backwards. Say, for instance, if you were a person that was a very negative person, you were pessimistic, you were always getting into it with people, fighting and this and that. So now you want to change your life. You want to be more of a positive person. You don't want to be all angry or whatever it was you was angry about. You then resolved it and you moved on from it. So people still want to oh, you was like this before, you was like that, now you supposedly changed. Well, yeah, I did change. I'm trying my best to change because I see how I was or how I was acting before. It didn't really help me much. So, I decided that I want to do some things differently going forward so I can have a better outcome. Only thing people could do is respect it, and keep moving forward with you. When y'all communicate, y'all are able to come to a common ground that works for both of y'all, and you move forward. Or you may not. Either way, you got to deal with it. You might as well try to deal with it as fast as you can so it can be dealt with and you can move forward. Why leave stuff lingering, or you feel this way, they feel that way, y'all ain't talking and nothing ever get resolved, y'all just walking past each other or whatever, and you still got to be in the same environment. So why not come to a peaceful resolution if you can? If you can, you may need some time. And then when everybody cool down and whatnot, then come back together and try to come to a resolution. But overall, you really have to do what's best for you, because, it is your life. So, what if the person decides, hey, I'm never going to forgive you, I don't want to bother with you, got to accept that. You did what you did to that person, you got to come and deal with the consequences of it. And if they decide they don't want to fool with you no more, you gotta deal with it. And you're going to force them to still deal with you, I'm not going to stay on long. I just want to, just share that with you all. Forgiveness is not always for the other person. It's most of the time for you. Forgive people what they did, even if they don't come back and apologize, so you can be at peace with it within yourself and you can move forward. And thank y'all for everybody that's been watching, subscribing to the YouTube channel. You can watch the full video over on the YouTube channel. If you are more interested in listening to the audio version of the podcast, you can go to Spotify, Apple Music, Anchor, Google, I believe it's on too, and you can listen to it there. And like I said, I appreciate y'all, and I will see y'all next week. Bye.